Thank you, Andy. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. What formed your musical style and ideas, in your opinion?
What formed?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think they're still forming. I mean, you never stop with music. And I had a wonderful introduction to the world of jazz, improvised music, from a musician that I met when I wasn't even playing seriously. I was messing around on different instruments, and I met this wonderful piano player who said, I thought I was an artist, painter, and he said, "You're not an artist, you're a natural musician," because he heard me playing instruments. And he said, "Do you know the music of John Coltrane and Charles Mingus, and Keith Jarrett?" I didn't, and he said he came to see me with a lot of records and said, "Smoke this and listen to this." And that was immediately I thought, this is the universe I want to be part of.
I think it should be very special being the guest of a perfect human duo, the one with Carla Bley and Stevie Swallow. I think it could be very inspiring, not only from the musical point of view, I think.
Totally inspiring, yeah. I mean, they're both incredible people and incredible musicians. Carla's is kind of, to me, she's like a genius, a composer it's incredible. She's always writing, and I'm so thankful that she called me to come and play with her. It was a long time ago, and it's a relationship which has continued through the years, and it's always very challenging, very demanding, like every musical situation really, but very, very rewarding, because on all levels, on a human level, on a spiritual level, musical level, it's wonderful to be around people like that. It's very inspiring. Yeah.
Apart from Carla Bley, you played also with great band leaders such as George Russell and Gil Evans. Were all these fruitful experiences for your projects as a band leader?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's you learn. I kind of learned by osmosis, if you like, when you stand next to and play with musicians who are more accomplished than yourself, you naturally get sucked up to their kind of level, hopefully. And working with these really incredible band leaders, and I was really lucky to be in the right place at the right time. But I did work a lot with George. Gil, I just did one record and like a tour, and then it was a shorter thing, unfortunately, because that was amazing. Amazing to learn from directly from masters.
Among your musical projects, there are Trio Libero with Michel Benita and Sébastien Rofford, and the quartet, the same trio enhanced, including also Eivind Harsel.
Exactly.
Which is the main spirit of each one, the main characteristic and the different balance between them?
Well, they're all highly individual, creative musicians who bring I know I can write music for them, and know they will bring the music to life and put their own personality, musicality on the table. So we make a universe of sound which is kind of in my head, and which is an incredible thing. I mean, the downside is that there's only one Ivan Arset, there's only one Sebastian Rochford, there's only one Michel Benita. So, and to get them all together in the same room at the same time is complicated, molto complicado. But, when we do get together, it's a wonderful thing. And I think we have a band sound and an identity, which is, I think it's very important to try and find that with my own groups, to try and each one to have a slightly different atmosphere, a different sound. And for that you need, new colours, new musicians, new specialist, highly specialist players. I mean, Ivan is incredible,
There's a special side project I would like you to briefly talk about. That is the very uncommon The Bird's iPhone app.
Oh yeah, God.
Would you please tell us something about these special colleagues?
Well, yeah, and that was just, I did that for fun in my little home studio, thought of, I was more inspired by, I tell you what I saw was a documentary on, the music I produce is nothing on this level, but I saw a documentary with Olivier Messiaen, who, used birdsong, and this is this is high level. But I saw a documentary and he was in the woods, kind of somewhere near Paris, walking around, writing, listening to birdsong and writing down things he was hearing. And I thought, that's incredible. Then I saw his wife was like somewhere in, back there following around with a little microphone to record things. And I thought, oh man, that's so great, And so I made this little record and I found birdsong. Some I recorded myself, some I found. And then, made a kind of a little record using the sounds. And some of them are, some of the birdsong were incredible. And I slowed some down, that was when technology first started to take off, and you could put a blackbird singing, and then with this program, I can't remember what it was called now, but you slow it down, so it would go down, 4 octaves or something. And then when I first did it, I had the headphones on, listening to this blackbird singing, and then I slowed it way down, and suddenly it was like, it really freaked me out because it sounded like a dinosaur, this kind of. And I thought, oh man, this is steep, And the butcher bird, that tune is, the bird sings the entire melody. I just changed 1 or 2 notes, and I harmonized it, And the bird is singing all that. Fantastic.
Virtuoso.
Yeah, incredible, birds.
Jazz, we can say, is the real music of the world, ready to be fascinated by every music of the world and ready to build something new out of it. You are certainly a good example in this sense. What's fascinating, interesting, appealing for you now, Andy?
I think it's really important to try and keep making music on whichever level. Because it's a basic kind of, it is a basic human need. Now with all these things like Spotify, you can listen to anything at any time, which is wonderful, but it's also like too much, because it's hard to filter But I try and listen to music that I've, you know, and I listen to musicians that I know from years ago and what are they doing now, and I listen to youth, and I listen to a lot of young musicians who are coming out and think that they have an incredible advantage that when they start playing very young, and they're taught in conservatoires like here, and they have fantastic teachers. I had none of that, you know. I'm completely self-taught, and so it took a long time for me to figure things out, because there was no one saying you should learn this solo or you should do that or get that book, or I had to kind of just by chance find things out. But that's good too, because then you have your own story. And I mean, for example, we used to listen to it at home. I used to try and listen at, like Carla and Steve, when they cook, you know, they would listen to music, you know. And so we were doing that at home with my wife. And then one day I said, you know what, I'm going to go and get my guitar, and you cook and I'll play some guitar, you know. And then I started to play some Beatles songs or something. And then she started to sing. It was fantastic, you know. So now in this time that we find ourselves of, you know, now hopefully we're coming out of this time, but when we were all locked down, every day we would sing songs, you know, and all kinds of different songs, like, you know, Frank Sinatra repertoire, or Ella, or you know, the Beatles or whatever, and I thought, and a friend of mine used to come, he plays the bass, and it was like we were just making music for ourselves in the kitchen, you know. And I thought that's kind of getting back to, and me playing an instrument is not my first instrument, so it's a challenge to, and I've learned a lot from doing that, you know. Just not so much about music, but I mean, I learned more about the guitar, but it's learning, always getting back to the thing of what is making music, you know. And it's just about being in the moment with other people, you know. The only unfortunate thing is we've never had an audience. Well, maybe that's a good thing, because, you know, we're not that great, but it's kind of real in a way to make music every day, not just practice the saxophone or be involved in that, but do other things as well, and just enjoy how great it is to play, you know, Somewhere Over the Rainbow or something. You know what I mean? Just to actually play it and be in that tune at that moment, and then have a glass of wine and think, music is so fantastic on every level.
The pleasure to share music.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Thanks a lot, Andy. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome.